Hi all, welcome back once again to VIEH. Today we are having a very interesting topic which is fancy wear. So in this video we'll be having a very deep analysis on what exactly the fancy wear hacking group is and how actually they are working. Along with we'll go through with the other names which is associated with fancy wear, the targeted sector, the regions, the malware that was being used, the basic overview about the scenario exact, how they are working, from where they originated, and all those things. Then we'll move to the tactics, techniques, and procedures that are being used by the fancy bear, along with their attack details, which had done in the recent couple of years, and they have also done a lot of espionage campaigns, which was in 2023 and 22, which was in very limelight. So we are also going to focus on all those parameters and at the last, we'll go through the prevention measures and conclude this session. Along with, I'll show you some IOCs, which is indicators of compromise, and this is what we are going to do practice in this specific video. So be in this video till last, and you are going to learn a lot of things. At the last, just try to drop a feedback in the comment section so that we'll get to know what are things, what are the problem you are facing, or is any additional thing that we need to add in our video. So let's start. So name is very fancy, and actually this video is generated by AI. So those don't consider this image as a logo of fancy beer a hacking group. So deep analysis. First of all, a very thanks to CISA, US government, Cyware, and few other online resources for the great insight about fancy beer. So these are the grades we have given because the resources, the materials we took are from these platforms. So thanks a lot once again. Now let's get right into the video with a basic overview. So this hacking group is basically also known with another name APT28. Two name is very common, Fancy Beer and APT28, which is actually all of the security people knows with only these two names in most of the cases. And it was said that it is coming from Russia as a cyber espionage group, and these are basically attacking the government, military entities, and high value data. The year in which they started 2007, and from that specific year they started executing a lot of well coordinated stealthy attack, and which was like one of the unique in the recent cyber security history. So there was a lot of reports which actually tell us that the attack group has attempted to influence election process in the US, France, and Germany actually, and it was also behind in the 2017 Notepad attack, which is very famous. I guess most of you knows. So actually, over the past 20 month, Fancy Bear has been in the news for exploiting a Microsoft Outlook bug. It was in 2023, I guess, in the last year. It was very famous, like Microsoft Outlook bug was exploited by a hacking group, which was Fancy Bear or APT28. There was They have actually targeted the two and more dozens of organizations across 14 nations that are actually strategically or very against of the Russian government and its military. The threat groups actually covert operation and aim to achieve long-term infiltration of their targeted system. With that said, let's quickly dive into the basic overview of some more points about exactly the aliases and the targeted sector. By the way, this image of Putin is so much in trend on the internet. Anyways, some good point about fancier hacking group. First thing, the year in which it was originated was 2007, along with the aliases. Actually, aliases, these are the other name of APT28, or we called as fancier hacking group. So wherever you see all this name, I guess this is 36. These are the actually 37 actually, as far I know. So these are the another name of fancy beer. Wherever you see any of these names, just consider it as a attack of fancy beer hacking group or APT28. Now let's move to the next slide. So the sector that are being targeted is government, mobility organization, aerospace, media firm, research company, energy, journalist, politician, telecommunication, and IT. These are the major sectors that are being targeted. Major and only actually. The area that are being targeted is Europe, mostly the NATO members, North America, the UAE, Middle East, and Syria. Common infection vectors. The technique that are mostly used is phishing, which is especially the spear one, zero day exploit, custom malware, water holing, and living of the land tactics. What actually, what are the malware that are being used is these are the 8 malware that are usually found during their attack vectors. So you can have a little bit idea about how exactly this malware works. You can get a lot of documentation over the internet to know exactly how this malware works in, so that in future if you get attacked then you'll be having a basic idea of exactly what are the incident response you can plan for. What actually motivates this hacking group is they actually do a lot of espionages and at last as common politician or political agenda is actually motivating them. Now the next point is tactics, techniques, and procedures. So let's have a little bit idea on the fancyware tactics, techniques, and procedure. So as I told you, they are proceeding with the spear phishing campaign to deliver malicious payload where it's camouflage itself as an email from trusted source. So the group is known for exploiting security flaws in the software, which may include zero day as well. So they also had a very uh, much headline on the a lot of exploits. So I'm going to share you some sort of links as well from where you'll get idea exactly what are the exploits that they had exploited in the recent years. So this is the first, I guess, uh, CV to 2023 23397. This was exploited by this actually hacking group, which is called uh, Outlook Zero Day. It was Outlook Zero Day. Then along with the uh, proceeding further, uh, this was also another CV that was found and exploited is actually the Cisco for the Cisco routers, and another was the WinRAR flow. Here you can see. So these are the very uh, famous and very recent that was being found by the APT28 or fancyware hacking group. So now let's get to the slides. So the attack that was being done by this hacking group is first thing the malware attack, where this group actually use a lot of malwares, which include uh, Sofacy, X Agent, and Sabrosi, which I already told you into the previous slides. Another thing is the water holding attack. So they are compromising website likely to visit by their target, and this technique involves injecting malicious code into the website. Credential theft is also in the very trend. So this technique is used to steal the credentials such as using keyloggers or credential harvesting or to gain access of system and the network. Later on, persistent mechanism. This is used. This method is used to maintain access to compromised system for an extended period. This may also involve a lot of creating backdoors, using scheduled tasks, or manipulating system services. Another thing is the domain registration and infrastructure. So they are using and registering a lot of domains that actually mimic legitimate one and creating a deceptive infrastructure for their operations. So they actually purchase and create a lot of infrastructure and domains so that people will get to know that this is a legitimate mail ID or something. From there they can go through the spear phishing things. They use VPS, virtual private servers, uh, which actually provide their host their command and control servers, and they are actually helping them to hide their tracks and make attributes more challenging to find out. And last thing is the global targeting, geopolitical targeting actually. So the APT28 campaigns often align with the geopolitical event that actually suggest that the group operates in support of Russian state interest. Now let's have a bit idea about attack details. So the group is actually targeted Eastern Europe, government, military entities, Georgia, Ukraine, and organizations like NATO. So they also had uh, a big target on the US defense contractor. That was, the article is actually related to that specific attack that was done on US defense contractor. And they actually started the major attack in 2015, and then till 2016, which had a wide range of individuals opposing Putin and Kremlin in the US, Ukraine, Russia, Georgia, and Syria. So at that time, they had targeted all those US defense contractors and the company, those who are associated with a very big cyber attack. Now, some points that we need to focus is the incident in which the fancy beer hacking group is involved. So first thing was the French TV station TV5 Monde. So this article you can go through it for having a more detail about this specific point. Let me give you overview. So it was done in 2015 in April. So actually in April 2015, Fancy Beer had destroyed the internet connection hardware that actually controlled France TV5 Monde TV stations and operations. They also actually hijacked their website and social media account. So entire system was being hijacked by that specific group, and so these are things you can go through with this article, and you will be having a lot of ideas. Now the next thing we can move on is US president election attack. So this attack was in 2016. So this is let me give you a overview once again. So Fancy Beer actually targeted DNC, which is called Democratic National Committee. They have targeted actually their email servers and stole sensitive emails and other information that were actually later leaked to the public, and it is seen as an attempt to the influence the 2016 president election. This is not a very deep thing, but it will be a very much beneficial if you go through it. Another thing is German bus tag. So this was also very much important. This was the third attack that was done in 2017. So the group was publicly associated with the infiltration, the German Bundestag, employing spear phishing attack and the malware to compromise government officials and expand network access. Another was the NotPetya malware attack. So actually, uh, I'm showing the link along with this article so that you'll be having a brief idea about it. NotPetya attack was also done in 2017. So actually, Fancy Beer was connected to the destructive NotPetya malware attack as well. That would go on to approx 10 billion US dollar worth of loss globally, with other significant damage to impact globalization as well. Now, next thing is another attack that was in 2017 was WADA, which is called Worldwide National Dropping Agency. So WADA had done in 2017. So they had actually hacked and leaked the operations against the WADA and seen as retaliation for Russian ban from the 2018 Winter Olympic ahead of the Tokyo 2023 Olympic. Adversaries targeting at least 16 nations and international organizations across three countries. So these were the major, and the last and foremost is the brute force attack that was in 2019. So this was, yeah, here we go. So US and the UK's authorities actually warned of fancy Russian fancy beer hacking group. They were widespreading the campaign ongoing since 2019, which was in the mid actually. And the attack actually utilizes a Kubernetes cluster for brute force password spraying attack against numerous global government and private sector. Now there was actually very big uh, 2022 and 2023 espionage campaign, which was first in the Ukraine NATO countries. So there was an conflict between Ukraine and Russia, as we all know. So in that conflict, they unveiled a new chapter of cyber attack between nations with APT28 at the forefront of the cyber war. So according to the Alto Polo Unit 42 researchers, the group used to outlook bug exploit for over 20 months and 14 nations that were of strategic intelligence value to the Russian government. The group conducted the attack campaign in three parts, with the latest occurrence in December 2023, which was its attack focused on the critical infrastructure and energy related entities, pipeline operations, and government ministries, and more in NATO members countries. So outside NATO alliances, Ukraine, Jordan, and UAE were its target, and all at least 30 organizations were affected and uh, actually affected by this attack. This is a brief article on the same, and actually, when the Ukraine is getting attacked by the what we say Russia, it's not new. They have attacked the Ukraine, which is nothing new. Several attack campaigns have been launched against the Ukraine since 2014, and from 14 to 16, the threat actors dominated distribution of X agent malware, uh, which was you can see on this article, and that was on actually Ukrainian military forum bundles with legitimate application employees to the Ukrainian artificial forces and collect tactical data. Next slide, please. So there was a Cisco router abused as well. Here you go. So they have exploited actually RC, which was actually CV 2017 and 642 6742 in Cisco routers. And there was a joint advisory by the Western Security Agency relevant that secure actors use their tactics to backdoor Cisco routers globally, including in Europe, US government institutes, and approximately 250 Ukrainian victims. So this is what in a very fascinating. Hamas war was also there. So I guess battery is getting down a lot. Anyway, Hamas war was there. So security expert uncovered attack campaign by the fancy beer. So it was in actually December using lures related to the ongoing Israel-Hamas war to deliver a custom backdoor called Headless. So Headless is actually a very famous backdoor. I guess in this article you can get a little bit idea about this specific. Anyway, so there was a Israel-Hamas conflict. So in this article you can go through with the Headless. This campaign actually targeted critical infrastructure organization across Hungary, Turkey, Australia, Poland, Belgium, Ukraine, Germany, Azerbaijan, a lot of more countries. Now the main point is the prevention measures. How we can prevent these kind of attacks. So for that prevention, actually there's a lot of things we can focus on. So the first thing uh, that we need to understand is uh, DDoS protection should be there onto your server. Second thing is there should be also encryption attack protection. You should have a incident response team into your organization along with threat intelligence feed you can go through it, so that you'll be having a lot more updates regarding what's going on uh, behind the internet related to fancy beer hacking group, what they are doing. So there might be a lot of telegram group, a lot of dark web website from where you'll get idea exactly what they are doing, and sometimes they also release their incident and updates. So let's binding up the session. These are the IOCs which will help you to have lot more information while investigating, and IPs that are being associated with this hacking group. Now the part of conclusion. Fancy bear as always remains a persistent and enigmatic advisory for over a decade. So by delivering to their tactics, motivations and complex operation, we gain the insight necessary to counter their ambition. So their adaptability and innovation actually present a formidable challenge to both government and organization globally. Defending against fancy bear mandates contributes enhancement and adoptions of a state-of-the-art defensive strategy. So be prepared. It is not that much easy while countering some sort of cyber attack. When you get attacked, then there will be a lot of complications. So as we like last year, we had about a video on Black Cat hacking ransomware group, I guess. So we have said with a lot of peoples, but actually at that time there was not much ransomware attack on India. But recently there was an attack on UPSRT, which was UP State Road Transport Corporation, and it was attacked by Black Cat ransomware. So at that time, if the people focus on that specific video, then there might be a little bit idea about exactly how they're traveling, how they're encrypting, and all those things. But later on, it depends on the user. So at the last, thank you very much for joining us, and it's always been a great to have you here till the last. So thanks a lot. Have a great day. Jai.